So you're like, oh yeah, he just told me to go to hell. I'm going. So you got to listen.
Yeah.
Sniper. He's a sniper.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
because
saying.
the black
I
lexicon
like
is rich,
when people
man.
believe that they.
All of a sudden you.
However, hello DBT family. We are
Hey,
live.
y'all.
We're live.
Back
We are
again.
live.
Boy, we getting hot shade over here. Jeez, gone. Y'all missed it. Y'all missed the best. Y'all missed the best parts. Jeez, because it wouldn't be appropriate to put it on this.
Mm-mm.
Right. Off the air. What happens behind the scenes?
Yeah, exactly. So good evening, everyone. I'm Marques.
I'm Hashim, also known as Hashade.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Oh my
Stephania.
Mike Carter, the Paperboy.
All right. So is this the third time this week? Sheesh.
Content. Review, like, subscribe.
That's it.
Right.
That's
and
it.
us. If you have a personal question for one of us or you disagree with something that we said, go ahead and reach out. We'll reach back out. We can have this conversation. We all grown.
Yeah. Funnel all those questions through Hashim. And I think he'll answer appropriately for all of us.
Yeah. And don't be sensitive, though.
That's right.
Don't be sensitive. And most of the times my answer will be IDGAF.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
just saying, my opinion is my opinion.
Cute. All right, so folks, we go probably keep it a little short tonight. You know, today is the 2nd of January.
Oh
yes.
My God.
Happy New Year's.
Yeah. Happy New Year's.
Well, I said mine singular.
Thank you. Appropriately.
Yes.
Black people. Not even Black people. Years.
But we did just leave one calendar mark year that was about 15 years put into one. So
yeah, felt like it.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
I haven't done anything. It's a new year. I haven't done it. Did I leave the house? I don't think I've left the house.
In 2 days, huh?
Have you showered?
I shower every day, man.
Okay, I'm just asking, man. Like
But
some
I ain't
people
leave the
just
house.
I was just gonna say, don't answer that. We don't need to know. We don't. I mean, sometimes just,
people want to know. It's the inner Walter Cronkite in me.
No, man. We had virtual court this morning. For those who don't know, the courts are still working.
Of course.
on Saturday.
For those who are confused,
On Saturday?
On Saturday.
Denver has Saturday court.
Gotcha.
Denver said, "Give me that money."
Right.
You don't understand. For those who don't know how the system works, yes.
Oh, was that today?
That train keeps rolling.
Yeah. So I have a question. Has COVID? So what's the Speedy Fair Trial Amendment?
Yes. Let's talk about that. Lots of
That's
people
a great question. That is a great question. And
how is COVID affecting that?
The look on your face is indicative of the answer I'm about to give you. All right. The speedy trial, generally in a misdemeanor county court or felony case, 6 months, 180 days.
Uh-huh.
However, should there be an emergency such as a pandemic,
which we've never had before, so please go ahead.
And should there be an emergency such as a pandemic, the chief judges have been overruling that 180 days. So if you have been waiting, I think when March 19th is in my head when they closed down the 18th. That's what I have in my head. And they've probably done 10, 15 misdemeanor trials and maybe 1 or 2 felony trials. So if you're in custody right now, this is the 18th. I can't speak for anybody else. If you're in custody right now on a bond you can't make, there's been a pretty high likelihood that your trial has been continued multiple times.
Yeah.
Okay. So I dig it. The other part of that should be your bond should be reduced to something that you can make then.
That is
or ankle monitor.
That is the fight.
No, ankle monitor, because you got to pay for that. right?
Some people
And
willing
you
to
haven't
pay
been
for it.
no.
Unless
You
you're in
haven't been
Denver.
convicted yet, right? So you should. I feel you should not have to pretrial services is a ripoff. But if you're not convicted of anything, what the hell are you having people pay for something for? Right? So no ankle monitor, something needs to happen with the bail or something needs to happen with the cases.
That is a very logical argument, sir.
Completely logical, completely appropriate.
Man, I wonder how many white lives they messing up with this and why are white people settling for this?
Oh, wow. There it is.
That's good.
There
We
it
should approach
is.
it that way. We should approach it that way. Maybe we
Yep.
If I were white and this were happening,
I'd be damned.
calling somebody.
You
It
wouldn't
would have
disrespect
been
my white
national
skin.
news.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, there have been some folks have gotten reduced bonds or PR bonds. But as y'all probably maybe have heard, Arapahoe last month had an outbreak. We all received an email. I think they had 35 cases.
So now we're into cruel and unusual punishment.
That is the argument.
Yes.
That is the argument that has been.
And I didn't even go to law school.
Sixth Amendment cruel and unusual punishment. I'll tell you what's going on. I'll tell you just in a, $30,000, $3,000, $30,000, but way up there, looking down. They have been very generous with bonds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly.
In
They have
18?
been,
Yeah.
meaning stuff that happened before March 19th, you would get $10,000, $15,000 bonds. Stuff that was happening after March 19th, you were getting PR bonds.
Yeah.
Right? And so they were trying, but it becomes okay. We are loosening the reins on the bonds. But what happens when we're not talking about a felony menacing, we're talking about a felony murder. That is exactly what happens.
But they're postponing those trials, saying that they cannot seat a jury because a jury would be afraid that they're sitting next to somebody with COVID and won't be able to focus on the case. So they're just pushing those trial dates back. And
that's part of it. They don't have the space to contain the number of jurors, potential jurors that are required. So for instance, your typical trial probably gets 50 jurors. County court probably gets 35, 40 jurors that you get to pick from for 6. Homicide trials, you could be doing 100, 150.
I think they have the space. They're not willing to try something different. Let me finish. They're not willing to try something different in order to bring them in for voir dire. They can stagger them. They can say, you come in, we're having 3 in at a time, and they will sit here and we'll stagger them, and this is how you interview them. When you come in, you have to sit in a certain area. You have these big, no one's in these courtrooms right now. No one. You can take up 3 and 4 or 5 of those courtrooms to voir dire to impanel a jury.
Now, there's 2 things going on there. 1, you're right. 2, I, as the lawyer, am now playing, I don't want to call it a game, but game. Now I now have unknown after unknown after unknown after unknown, because I could probably tell you the makeup of a jury in Arapahoe County, March 19th.
Yeah, you're right, Hashim.
Now, I don't know what's showing up. I can't talk to you as the defendant and tell you what's showing up. And if you do have to sit on jury duty, who are you going to be upset with if you're sitting on a jury duty during a pandemic? Probably not going to be the judge.
The defendant.
So there's these unknowns that most of my clients right now, probably about 80% are out.
So they're forcing so the person incarcerated feels like they're forced to give up their speedy trial dates.
Oh, they're not being forced. They're not even being asked. It's just being
like forced. It ain't even a conversation.
No, it's just the judge just comes in and says it's a mistrial because of COVID. But to go to that aspect, the reason why I say space is an issue is because we have 7 district courtrooms that do criminal trials, and trying to do 7 courtrooms with let's say 50 to 75 jurors each is the difficulty. And that's why you can't use multiple courtrooms, because each judge has a courtroom. So
no. So I'm just saying, so those trials are not happening at all. We can make them happen one, maybe two at a time. You know what I mean? Like we can get some of them done.
And they about 3 months ago, they were like, okay, we're going to do, and they were basically taking county court trials and doing them in these giant, massive courtrooms, one at a time, right? I think that's why they got those 10 or 20 in. They were doing these massive these little county court trials in these giant courtrooms.
Okay.
And then they started, okay, we're going to see if we can do bigger trials, because you got to understand, the more complex or sticky a trial is, the higher likelihood. Well, if it's some type of sex assault, I can't bring 100 people in. I've got to bring in 200-300 people in. Or if it's something really big, like, something that gets a lot of press, I can't just bring 50 people in. I've got to bring in 350 people in.
Okay, do you have to bring them all in at the same time on the same day, or can you stagger them and say we're bringing in 10 people? So it takes you longer.
So let me tell you how it's been going. What they were doing before is they would bring them in the Friday before, but they were all there to fill out questionnaires, because you have to be able to watch them fill out questionnaires and then try to bring them back after you. It was a pain. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay.
No, you're right. It's scary, because you as the defendant are like, wait a minute. This looks shady.
Right.
One, that I can't get a speedy trial, and two, these people don't want to be here.
Right. And three, now I have to sit here and wait for a whole nother year, being incarcerated for a whole nother year. And then even after that year, when you start sitting a jury, there's a line. You have now people waiting to get their court date scheduled. So there's a line of people waiting to get into these.
So let me give you an opinion. So back in, I think it was back in April, they were behind by 1,500 jury trials at that time.
In April, this year.
Yeah. April is, or the start of 2020.
When it just started, when the pandemic first hit, they closed in March. By April, they were already behind.
Okay.
So here's what's going to have to happen. Because first of all, these DAs need to get on the ball. That's what my concern is that they could be making better offers or dismissing cases. And I had to give credit to one DA in particular. I'm not going to say his or her name, but the judge was just going to continue the trial, and he said, "Nah, I'm gonna dismiss this because I don't have the likelihood of finding this person, and quite frankly, I don't want to continue to try to find this person when they don't want to be there. Not often." But they got it. He got it. And then on top of that, he ended up making me an offer that my client couldn't refuse. My client did something. He didn't do the felony thing, but he did the misdemeanor version of it, which is what I've been asked for. He said, you know what? Here you go. Take that misdemeanor and let your guy get out. So, but what they're going to have to do is, because of the backup is so large, they're going to have to bring in more judges, or they're going to have to bring in the senior judges, and they're going to have to find space to do it eventually.
What they're going to have to do is that whole, like I told you guys this morning, I'm doing Denver court on Saturday. Those norms of court is 9 to 5, that is going to go by the wayside.
Absolutely.
Night court, weekend court.
Yep.
We know they no longer, when I say they no longer have the luxury of a court date being 9 to 5.
So you see that, Hashim? Somebody needs to pay for us to go to law school so we can help with this backlog.
That's right.
Well,
I'll give 3 years of my life to the DA's office if someone pays for me to go to law school.
There you go.
What I was going to say is, because we all kind of watched the 18th Judicial District DA's race, right?
Yeah.
To touch on what Marcus is saying, I don't think we've said anything that was incorrect. There is a backlog. There are people in custody. People are still getting arrested. It is on the DA's office. I've tried, but I can't get a case dismissed. That is not how the system works. There's one person who can dismiss a case. It is the district attorney's office. And Marcus and myself are trial lawyers. I have not gone to trial since March 19th.
Whoa. March 1st was my last trial.
Whoa.
I took a trial because I was about to go on vacation. I needed that vacation money.
Back to that. But I tell you who has not missed a meal.
The DAs. Because they
Right.
get they get paid
Because
no matter
it's state
what.
funded. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there has to water. What is it? What are pressure bust the pipes? And
So
right
how do we
now
bring that pressure?
there's no pressure on the other side.
There's no pressure because the judges are just basically saying, you know what?
Set it over.
Mistrial, set over. And so
Thanks for the vacation.
Mhm.
Thanks for the paid vacation for them.
And
so,
there's unlimited mistrials, right?
It has to be legitimate, but as long as you have a legitimate argument, yes. And
in fact, argument was made in Aurora Municipal Court some time ago, where the person basically said, so we can have mistrials forever, and people will never get their day in court.
Right.
And there's
So
really
what
no
if
trial date?
What if defendants ended up going to the hospital for stress, anxiety, start having these life-changing type of things that they had to talk to a psychologist and, start to have to get on a program? Is that not punishment?
Well, first of all, they do get stressed out and they do go to the hospitals, but the powers that be don't care. And you don't get to talk to a psychologist. That's a luxury.
I'm just saying, like, if I'm awaiting my trial,
if somebody said that you're crazy, then you can get a.
No. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm out on bail. I got a case that was mistrial for the third time. And I'm like, I can't do this anymore, right? Like I'm gaining weight, I'm losing weight, I'm losing my hair, my family life is being destroyed, right? I could have normally just gone, I was prepared to just go through the trial the first and the second time. Now, this type of punishment is not just affecting me, it's affecting those around me as well.
Yeah.
How does that not fit to unusual?
Yeah, I agree.
And cruel.
Go ahead, Carter.
It would have to be the DA system or the judge, right?
Yeah. And they're not, in that scenario, they're not actionable.
Judges are immune. Because they actually don't have judges do not have the authority to dismiss cases at that point.
And the DA doesn't have to dismiss it if he doesn't want to. There are so many reasons why they can keep it open.
Yep.
And they don't care.
So how does cruel and unusual punishment ever
one.
happen then?
Cruel and unusual punishment happens when you've been sentenced. You have to be convicted first in order to even get to that. What's that? The Eighth Amendment in order to even get to that particular point.
Then how do we force the unconstitutionality of it? Mistrial after mistrial after mistrial after mistrial. It really, I agree with you, Hashim. It's
habeas corpus.
That just means bring you in front of the judge. But the reality is, what's the judge going to do?
Judge is going to say, no, there's been no evidence put in front of me for me to make a decision. There's been no testimony. There's nothing that's come from the stand up there for me to make a decision. So I cannot dismiss the case. There's too much case law out there that says that a judge cannot replace the opinion of the juror as well.
And remember this, because you guys are hitting the judge aspect. This is the trickle down, right? The chief judge reports to the AG/governor, and the governor's the one who's deciding if it's green, orange, purple, red. I think we all dropped down a level.
We're at orange right now. I wore it.
And so as long as they have the mistrials that the judges are calling are airtight. The reality is the DAs need to be dismissing more cases or getting out of the way.
So I go back to asking, how do we devise a plan, especially since most of us sitting here are on some type of NAACP, we are in some sort of group. How do we devise a plan to apply the pressure that they start dismissing or these cases are giving better deals? Where do we get that?
You go first, Carter. I got an opinion, but you go first.
You vote for a DA.
We're done with that. We're 4 years out from that.
Yeah.
And don't get me started on that DA because we will touch on my story for this DA in a minute. So we know already that we should be voting our interests. Black people, you are watching. White people who are watching. Whoever you are that are watching. stop voting against your interest.
Hey,
Vote
dummy.
the entire ballot, especially when the rest of the ballot concerns your immediate community.
All I know is
start voting for your community.
All I know, it would be nice during this pandemic time to have a progressive DA.
And it really would be.
And so the judges are going to CYA. They are going to write these motions. They're going to write these mistrials, and they're going to put everything Governor Polis just said, everything the 10th, the federal system said. They're going to put it in there, and they're going to be like, look, there's a pandemic. My judges are protected.
Yeah.
Go over that really quickly, please. I know you're going to, Marcus, I want to get to your point, but go over what the 10th judicial, the district court.
That's the federal district court, yeah.
The federal district court, and they have
district court.
They don't preside over these judges, the Colorados, but the districts, the 18th, the 17th, the 16th, the judicial districts in our state listen to everything that comes out of the federal district. The federal district is saying, we're not impaneling jurors because there's a pandemic, and writing an order. They are taking that order, putting it into the Chief Judge Amico, and then they're adding whatever Governor Polis says, putting it in, whatever Tri-County Health says, putting it in, and then writing an ironclad order as to why, this is going to be a mistrial.
Okay. Marcus, what were you going to say?
So everything Carter said, 100. We needed a progressive DA. But here's the thing. If we had judges who would be willing to go against the stream, these judges they're just granting them mistrials. But I believe a judge can, because they have full 100% autonomy, discretion to say, you know what, I'm not. Now, although I can impanel a jury, there's nothing in the rules that prevent them from impaneling a jury outside of the courtroom. But that's just one thing. But here's the other thing. Defendants are not confident in going to court trials because they don't trust the judges.
Right.
And that's
work with the DAs.
Right, because they don't believe that they don't believe that the judges would be fair or would be completely neutral. And that's sad, because we could be doing court trials right now if there was this faith and belief that a judge would not simply take the word of a cop because the cop says, hey, he was a mean guy, he was angry, or he was cussing at me. But instead of sifting through all that rigmarole and really just focus on the facts and of itself, you don't have that. We could be going through trials now if you had judges who were looked at as being neutral. And that's sad to say, but it's just a fact. Because you can do. We're having motions hearings, we're having preliminary hearings, which are effectively glorified, or there are miniature versions of court trials, because you're calling witnesses, they're taking an oath, they're telling the truth. We're doing these via WebEx too. So we could be lessening some of this. And I think if you got a judge who got into that position, the judge could say, you know what, this evidence is nonsense. I'm gonna MJOA this and kick this out. Which would get your DA starting to think, should I be bringing nonsense?
Marcus, and real quick, Marcus, explain what happens to a judge that goes against the DA's office.
Uh-oh.
If you're talking about the state, they'll put up a big fuss and fight. Well, here's the thing.
You know what happens.
Come on, tell us.
It depends on where.
One of y'all say something.
It depends on where. It depends on where, I guess.
Be plain, right? Come on. Be clear.
The Judicial Nominating Commission are the ones who will take the opinions of, they'll take everything what everyone says, they'll look at it, they'll take the written words and everything else, and they'll go from there. Other locations, I guess if they want it bad enough, they can get rid of you to an extent. It still requires people to vote against that judge, but yeah.
The public defender and the criminal defense bar are not a monolith. We are a loose organization of cats running wild, right? So the DA's office is that. And if a judge consistently goes against that DA's office, then that DA's office has the power to write reports, reviews, about this judge. And I'm not sure what the retention is, but usually the judges that don't get retained are the ones that have upset the DA's office by doing that. And if you go outside what the chief judge has said regarding orders, like this is how you file a motion to get rid of the trial. This is you are protected. This order, if you follow this order, you are protected. If you go outside of this order, you are no longer protected.
So there's the reason, people watching, why that's the reason right there why people are afraid to have bench trials, because we know that they are controlled to a certain extent by your DA's office, and your DAs are controlled. I heard somebody say this the other day, that the police powers are the ones who really get a DA elected.
It's the unions.
Yeah.
Right. It's the unions and the money.
Right, but it plays a part in that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, why do you think that we have now George Brockler's understudy in over 18 who just rehired George Brockler to stay on after he's been term limited?
Come on.
Well, apparently it's for one case, isn't it?
It's for one case.
That's what they're saying, for one case.
It's for a case that's going. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead. This is your thing. Go ahead.
So while he's there, you have to know that they're going to him to ask him how to handle the cases that he's already been presiding over. They say in the public eye that that's just for the one case, the STEM school shooting case. But all the other cases that are still hanging in the balance, who do you think is making the decision on whether to give them a deal, whether to dismiss them, or whether to do anything else? If he's still there, even if he's still there, he's still making those decisions.
I want you to go ahead.
Gosh, this is being recorded. I want to lean on George's side on this one.
Really?
Because I got something for that.
Yeah, I don't think that. I would like to give him the benefit of the doubt that he would not do that, right? I would like to give, this is more than that man ever gave me. I would like to give him the benefit of the doubt that he would just do this one and done. And I think this one speaks to his ego, because this is going to go, remember the last case that he was famously known for trying was the Aurora Theater case, right? And I think this one is going to be another headline-seeking type of case. I think George is doing this to plan his next move. What that is, I don't know. It might even be to run for the chair of the Republican Party for the state of Colorado. I don't know.
Is that paid?
We've had this conversation, guys. We've had this conversation. What happens in 2024?
Oh, it splits, right?
Yeah.
The new district.
Where is Highlands Ranch?
Yeah, it's in Douglas. Yeah.
It's not hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know where he's going.
And rightfully so. He should be over Douglas County and Elbert and Lincoln.
No, he shouldn't. There should be a more progressive, a more people-focused DA that runs in that seat for that. Like, listen, Republican, here's your chance to renew your brand.
It ain't gonna happen.
I'm just saying, I believe.
Republicans exist? I thought they called Trumplicans. I don't think the GOP exists in it.
No. I am firmly with Sister Gallegos that he is waiting for it to split. He's going to run in 2024 as the DA.
He'll run on a polls most likely.
Which would be really interesting if he didn't, because
primaried
a DA in the 18th who got a lot of support from Douglas, Elbert, and Lincoln County trying to run for DA in Arapahoe County.
Kellner's not going to run for DA in Arapahoe County. Now, I could be wrong, but he's going
to
struggle. What?
He would struggle?
He would struggle. He would lose.
I'm still keeping hope alive and hoping that Kellner is different than Brockler.
He lost by
different in a positive
votes
sense
in Arapahoe County alone. And here's the thing. So call me a skeptic, but I've been doing this in this county. I've been practicing for almost 19 years, but I've been doing it in this county for 17. And we've been hoping that there will be change, going back to Jim Peters, to Carroll, and through Brockler, and now through Kellner. So here's the thing. I don't think anything is going to change, but I'd hope to God that I would be proven wrong. And I hope to God somebody would say, pull a dabble, eat your words. I'll happily eat my words in that aspect.
Right? Of course.
I don't think there's going to be change. I think we're going to be sticking with the same crap, same CS offers, same full jail. And, we're just going to go to trial.
New year, new me. Hopefully the newly elected district attorney has the exact same thoughts and he can prove us wrong. He can prove us wrong. This is an unprecedented strain on the justice system right now. So let's see what happens.
So I had one of my off the cuff political thoughts right now. What if there was energy to vote out these judges to not retain the judges? What message would that send? What message would that send to Polis?
Well, Polis is already trying to put in progressive-minded judges.
So if we vote out the conservative ones on the next retention cycle.
Well, every year they're up for retention. Judges are up for retention. So
takes a monolith. It takes a DA's office. It takes the crazy nonsense that happened in Adams County. Go look at the last 4 that got kicked out. They all ran afoul of either the chief judge or the district judge's office.
I don't know the details behind Riddick that got voted out in the 18th.
Oh, that was
but that one stands out. There was one in Denver. I forget the details about why that judge did not get retained. But it's hard to do, but it's doable.
Oh no, it's doable. The last judge that was taken out in Arapahoe County, that was yeah. Well, here's the thing.
He was nice to the wrong people.
Yeah, exactly.
Say that again, Carter. He was what?
He was nice to the wrong people.
Okay.
And it's just, here's the thing. Unfortunately, the great part about our system in terms when it comes to judges is that judges don't run for office like they do down in Texas or Las Vegas or Nevada. You don't run for a judgeship because that's ridiculous, because you are then catering and you are then showing your true colors. But here we have a system, but it's all based on politics. The nominating commission is chosen by the governor, but obviously there's recommendations that comes in through the governor's office and they pick, but there has to be a certain number of Republicans, a certain number of Democrats, and then a certain number of independents, certain number of attorneys, and certain number of non-attorneys. I think we probably run the best system here. However, you can go back in the history and look at some of the judges that are appointed and you scratch your head and you wonder why.
Mm-hmm.
And, I know judges, people who ran for or who applied for positions 15, 20 times and just didn't get there. So Polis only has so much that he can do. Really, the power lies in with that nominating commission. That's where the power is.
Okay.
If you can get to those folks, because those are also the folks who also do the evaluations of the judges when they're up for retention as well. So it's a system. So here's the thing. You two, and I'm pointing to you two. I don't know where y'all sit on y'all screen, but I'm pointing to you two down there on the bottom of mine. Yeah, they're going that way. You all need to be applying for the Judicial Nominating Commission. And for all those folks that are watching, you all need to be applying for the Judicial Nominating Commission. You have the ability to pick the judges. So what you do is you interview a bunch of people, you pick your top 3. The top 3 goes to the mayor or to the governor, and the governor picks from those 3. That's how the process works. But you all, common folk, you all get the ability to look over this and make that decision. Most folks don't know that.
Let's talk about that for a second. Me, common, average, everyday citizen, can apply for a commission. I don't need a college degree. I don't need a law degree. I don't need any type of advanced degree. All I have to do is what?
They're only separated by political affiliation.
Okay.
So
and where you live.
Exactly. That's it. Where you live, and you got to be a certain age. But where you live, You got to have the ability to vote. So I think you can do it at 18. Where you live at and be a Democrat, Republican, or a independent. And that's it. But run.
Y'all hear that?
Here's the thing. Hashim, you got enough folks in the political arena where you could make some calls and get your name in front of the governor. You do. And Stephania has been meeting all of us, so she's getting to know folks who could probably make some calls. Because here's the thing, I'm proud of the 18th because for the first time since I've been applying, we got 2 Black folks on there. We have 1 Latina, and this is a first, And so
for new name submissions or on the 18th bench?
On the 18th Judicial Nominating Committee.
Committee.
The ones who make the decision of who's going up to the governor. So we got 2 Black folks and a Latina.
Oh wait,
how many? Out of how many seats?
There are, I think there's 8.
Okay.
I have to remember. 7 or 8.
Right. We're happy with what? 2, 3, what?
No, we ain't happy. It's just better than it used to be.
Yes.
It's a start.
It's a start. You're right. It's a start.
Listen, it's like having the lady that can really cook come in as the cafeteria cook, but it still ain't like mama's or grandma's food, right? It's a start.
But here's the thing. But this is going to change when the new judicial district is created. This judicial district is going to break apart. The 18 Judicial Nominating Committee are going to break apart. The reason why is because some of those folks live in Elbert, Lincoln, and Castle Rock. And so there's going to be seats available for the 18th.
Yes.
What an opportunity to get a more diverse group, people of color.
So here's the thing. That happens in 4 years, right?
3. You're right. No, wait, is it 2024? It's 2024. You're right.
So 4 years. Nonetheless, there's going to be a governor's election that happens between that time frame, right? Yeah. So this is how voting matters. If we do not turn out to get the proper governor elected for this seat, all of this type of stuff gets to become in vain.
Yes.
Right? So it's like your vote matters so much. This is why they spend so much money and energy to try to suppress the vote. And then they'll come up with the dumbass logic of, with our voting numbers being so high, there's no suppression going on. No. Oppressed people, oppressed groups have always found a way around that system of oppression to make it. And that's what has happened. So voter suppression is real. Even in our good state of Colorado, there's activities out there that are trying to make that happen. But this is why you need to vote. I'm not saying vote for Polis, maybe primary Polis, but I am saying vote for governor, right? I'm not saying primary Polis. I'm just simply saying vote Democratic for governor. And who knows who's going to come out there? That's just me. I am Hashim, the Democrat guy.
Well, based on everything that's occurred so far, I would anticipate hot contests for pretty much everything.
Who's going to run against Polis, man?
No, there won't be any Democrats that run against Polis.
No,
I don't. He won't be primary, but there will be Republicans. I truly believe there will be. Make no mistake, a person like a Kaufman, who's standing in the mix.
I wish he would.
Don't come on! Don't put it past people.
I'm trying to get Jared to win.
Look at Steve House. Steve House. Now Steve House would be dangerous. You saw the show where he was on, right? You didn't see that.
I didn't see it.
Folks, go back and rewatch that show.
Steve House. Okay.
Listen, Steve House would not be dangerous. All you have to do is scratch that paint a little. Listen, so let me tell you a story. True story. Picture it. Colorado. No, I went to a Republican Tea Party meeting in Arvada. Like this, right? I didn't do a white chicks dress up or no Eddie Murphy type of dress up or anything, right?
So Wayne Brothers, but okay.
Eddie Murphy did it too.
He did.
Yeah. I said white chicks or Eddie Murphy.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Ooh, and I'm shady. But anyway, I went, I was one of 3 Black men that went in together. And I was expecting what the new. So, oh my God, I was expecting what the new show, because I have to give them credit, right? They weren't rude off the cuff. They were ignorant ass type of rude. And Steve House got up to speak. And I know he looked and was like, he saw these little 3 black dots. He was like, oh, can't use that word. But he stated, I don't know why African Americans don't vote for the Republican Party. I mean, we're the party that freed the and I'm like, what's the? Say it. That freed the slaves, right? And I'm like, what? So I looked up. One of my friends was giving me a hard time because I was playing a video game on my phone, right? He's like, that's what you're doing? I was like, trust me, you want me to do this. This is my calming agent. So when I looked up and I was like, you want me to stop playing this game and pay attention? And he's like, no, I'll keep playing your game, right? But that type of mentality came out of Steve House's mouth less than 2 years ago when he was the head of the Colorado Republicans, right? And I'm like, who says that? Right. And it was just, so I say all that to say about him, no competition against Polis, man. Get out of here. Not on that one.
I think we need to.
Oh, well, I didn't say he would be beaten. I'm just.
You said he would run.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Carter. Go ahead.
Okay. I think we just need to understand that there is a lot of Colorado that is not Denver, Aurora,
I dig
Pueblo.
Yep. I dig it.
We need to understand that. And I think we forget it because we live in Denver and Aurora and we just assume.
No, we got all 4 seats. We got all 4 seats last time, right? We maintained the House and the Senate this time. Like, no, I dig it. I've done the statewide tours. We got our Senate seat back. It's a different energy. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, right? It's still cold butter. We still going to have to work to get this off and to get it spread across the bread, right? But they're learning, and if our party is going to be under the leadership of Morgan Carroll again, right? We're going to be all right.
Yeah, I agree.
We're going to be all right.
I think Polis is going to be good for the next term. I'm not concerned about that. I think this is an opportunity for him to take the mantle and start bringing in judges who, and I got to give him props because he's done it. He set out and he's done it. So no complaints there. The issue comes with our district attorney's office. That's our issue. So you, I'm pulling just a little bit away from district attorney, but going to talk about when you said concern, it does make me concerned for 1 seat of the 4 executive seats. Secretary of State, not Secretary of State, excuse me. Attorney General. Really?
So yes, I'm a Phil Weiser supporter. Love Phil Weiser.
I do too.
I'm concerned.
I do too.
Hold up. Let me tell you why. Elijah McClain.
Yes.
Because
what have we heard on
done what's right in that case? You don't think?
What have we heard on it?
Yeah.
Right. And this is not my training, right? I don't have. But as I'm seeing what's not coming out of the office, as I'm seeing, so that I don't have the legal training, but I have the political training and the social media type of training. I'm like, oh, this does not look like it's getting ready to be favorable for folks that look like me, right? And how much of that is to Phil's office to blame for him not, his office or his administration not being daring to be like, nah, we running with these. If they can do the laws like this on Black people, we can do the laws like this on the people that need the laws applied to them like this. Or do we blame the laws that weren't set up to prosecute the enforcers of the laws? But I think that I can see this spinning, and I can see people that are single issue or very nearsighted losing focus on this. And there was something else that I lost in my head that I've kind of been looking at the AG's office, like, what the hell are you doing on this? And them being like, you know what? I'm cool on Phil Weiser. I ain't voting on an attorney general race. Right? We make up the what are we? We're 4% statewide as far as Blacks, but the Latinos numbers count in there as well. And if those people, those groups don't turn out for Phil, how does Phil beat the Republican? What if they ran a black ass Republican AG against him?
Ooh.
What if they ran a Latino AG against him?
You're joking, but that is if I were a Republican political operative, that would be the one from Pueblo.
Yeah.
A Hispanic from Pueblo. A Hispanic Republican from Pueblo.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do with that?
Right. I'm scared Casper might get a law degree.
I mean, the other side, what do they say? The other side gets paid too.
Do you have to be an attorney to run for attorney general?
I would hope so.
Yes.
I'm just saying, is there something written that says that specifically?
Yeah.
I hope that's the one you gotta have.
Listen, you don't have to go to med school to be a coroner.
Well, because you don't have to have, yes, you're right.
So I think I need to run for coroner next time for
You
a
don't want to be a
Republican.
coroner.
Yes, you will want me to be.
I don't want you.
You will want me to be.
Like,
Especially
We're
in a
gonna
case
go
like
back and
Elijah
overturn.
McClain.
This is murder. This is murder.
that one.
This is
Especially
murder.
in a case like Elijah McClain. Yep.
110 years old. Murder.
Right. I don't matter.
Murder. Can't believe
Murder. Right.
Okay, yeah. So Colorado does. You are required to be a member of the state bar. I just was curious.
I mean, of all the things to be thankful for, yes, I would like the Attorney General to be a lawyer.
If
Well,
not,
here's
I'm
the
running
thing.
tomorrow.
Well, let me tell you this right now. I'm about to show y'all something, just so you all can see this.
Jesus.
Backward states, because this is a legitimate question.
I believe it. I believe it.
They're in the Bible Belt, huh?
All right, so here we go.
Right?
Colorado does require.
Well, slow down, brother. You mess up my vertigo.
Sorry. There you go. My computer was doing funny things. All right. Don't dare say anything. All right. So Colorado must be a licensed attorney.
Which column is that?
That is the far
left.
right. So bar admissions. Can y'all see that at there? At the
Okay,
top?
got you.
And you got to be a minimum in Colorado. You have to be 25. That's interesting. I graduated law school at 25. That's interesting.
Uh-oh. You ready primary?
No. But check this out. New Jersey and New York, they have no requirements for the bar admission to be
New York.
attorney general.
Them is
Jersey,
Yankee states.
New York, Oklahoma, Rhode Island, Vermont,
Wisconsin?
Implied. It's implied, but not mandatory. Wow.
Implied in Vermont. So
I'd like you to have a degree, but if you don't,
right.
make it up as you go along.
But this is crazy. So here's the thing. In Colorado, you can run for an attorney general office at the age of 25. You just have to be licensed. But you can't.
Alabama didn't let me down.
But you can't run for a judgeship unless you've been practicing for 5 years. So anyway,
Wow, but you could be over all the judges.
you have a lot of authority there. So let's put it that way.
We have a system of checks and balances.
Do we?
Well, that you told me that, Hashim, that actually concerns me a little bit. I actually thought Phil was safe, but I didn't think about that one factor of Elijah McClain, because that's a huge factor, especially in our community. That's a huge factor.
Right.
Should we call Phil and bring him on the show?
I can reach out.
Let's make that ask.
Well,
Yeah.
either you or me. I'm gonna let you do it though. Bring because I'm pretty sure you come on in. Yeah.
Talk too much.
Yeah, you do, but that's okay. Thank you.
See how you said you do. See,
I'm smiling.
He'd be slick shady, man.
But you're the one that has shade. What do we?
This is why I recognize it.
inside
This is
game.
why I recognize it.
Right.
I'm hypersensitive
gotcha.
to it.
Okay.
I love Morgan Carroll. Can you get us Morgan Carroll?
Listen, give me your wish list. Let me see what I can do.
I can probably get Morgan Carroll too. I just
would love to hear
talk to
her
some
state of the
Oh,
race.
now it's a competition.
no. It's not one that I want to win. I just want you to make it happen. Bring them on. Let's talk. But for real, Hashim, that actually concerns me a little bit. The
I
attorney
agree with
general
you.
has a
Very
lot of
eye-opening.
power.
Yes.
Oh, and so I'm going to tip my hat. I'm gonna toot my own horn. I don't know if I said this on if it was a one-on-one conversation with Phil or if I said it back at a forum when he was running. because everyone kept thinking, how do we hold police accountable? And they kept coming up. This is before 217 passed, right? And I was like, hey, this is easy, right? I'm just a criminal justice major, not a law school graduate. My training failed me, though. That's how I ended up taking my plea. But nonetheless, I was like, you hit him through post-certification. So everybody looked at me like, what? I was like, the AG's office is in charge of post-certification. Every law enforcement agency in here has to be post-certified in order to be an officer of the law.
That's right.
You hit him in post-certification.
Ooh.
So recently, an officer had his post-certification revoked for lying.
Yes.
Yes. And so I'm like,
That's part of SB 217.
Okay. Well, I'm just simply saying, like, all that came together through post-certification. So Phil is open, like, for listening, right?
Fair enough.
Yep. So I can make that ask. And we hit more people through post-certification. Maybe we can find somebody to sponsor a bill that puts tighter requirements on post-certification. I don't know. Like, this is above my capacity. Like, how do you pull this lever to make that happen?
Oh, I love it.
Wiseman.
That's actually great.
Yeah, Wiseman. There you go.
Wiseman, and he's been on before. So
and then get your partnership with CCDB. We have a lobbyist, and that could be powerful. That could be really powerful. You hit them where it hurts.
Yep. And while I'm on this soapbox, another bill I need to see happen, and I have yet to find an elected official, and some of them are my dear friends. I've broken bread with them, right? And I've shed tears with them. But I have yet to find someone at the state house or the state senate to run a bill saying we will separate credit scores from the requirement of auto insurance.
Yeah. That's wow. You know what? That's correct, because they do check your credit. Yeah, they do. They run your credit score.
Yep.
That's how they determine their price for insurance. Come on, insurance companies are the shadiest of shady.
The shadiest, yes.
Yes. Your credit report determines nothing to do with your driver's history.
Nothing at all.
Right.
Well, we found that you find the sweet spot on my backside and go on and pucker up on that, because everything else is ridiculous, right? Like, it does. The fact that, okay, I have a low credit score because the student loans have been true. So now I'm struggling to make sure that I can find somewhere to rent, find somewhere to buy. Then I have to insure my vehicle, but I'm doing all this with a low credit score, right? Something has to give. And if I can't afford to pay the insurance, then the system is like, oh, come to us.
Yeah.
Because now you're a part of this mechanism.
It's
I need someone to just write a bill to separate that. I think there's some concern from the insurance agency. They'll be pushed back, but they will be, but oh well, screw them. And this is something that benefits. This is not one of them black only bills and then black and brown bills. This is something that affects everyone.
Everyone.
Right? Everyone.
Only black people have bad credit.
That ain't what they say in them double wides. I mean, that ain't what the singles say to the double wides. Like, you think you better than me?
Hashim, we do need to have a conversation with Phil Weiser then.
Okay.
For sure.
Let me listen, because sometimes I be forgetting.
Y'all need to put in that Google Doc.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I made some notes for you, so I got you.
Yes, ma'am.
Being the organized person that I am, I got you.
So
I'm glad somebody is.
Yeah, no doubt.
Not even close. Not even close.
Oh, so,
Grace and mercy.
Really?
Grace and mercy.
What about soon to be Representative-elect Iman Judah?
I have to send for her to be on the show or for her to run the bill.
Be on the show.
It's up to me. I have to send the request to her political box. I reached out to her directly, and she told me to forward it to the proper channel.
Oh, really?
The shade.
That's
shady.
The reverse
it's not shady. It's not shady. She's new. She wants to go to the proper channels. She's new. It's not shady.
But she was just on Brother Jeff's the other week ago,
really?
And they don't reach out. You reach in.
Oh.
Coin flip.
Good to know.
All right.
Okay.
I don't expect somebody that's a member of the Black Caucus to treat my black ass like this. The other members of the Black Caucus wouldn't have treated my black ass like this.
She don't know yet. She don't know.
Well, maybe it's because they're black.
No.
I don't know.
Okay.
Here we go.
Well,
Again,
we definitely got what we needed tonight.
No.
We got to cut him off again.
Yeah.
Perhaps she was tuned into the show that was questioned.
Listen, I don't bite my tongue on that. You know where I stand. Listen, I love some of my friends and my neighbors, but they ain't my family. You know what I'm saying? What you doing at this Coates family reunion?
Came for a plate.
You got a plate, right? You got a plate?
I got a plate everything.
Came for the chicken.
Right, my mama ain't ate yet.
You should try the pork chops.
Right, and the potato salad.
Oh my goodness.
And yes, I'm Hashim, and I do eat pork. Don't let the name fool you.
Ain't nothing
Wow.
like ribs.
Well, now we know who we're reaching out to.
All right.
I got it. I'll do it. New year, new me.
What about Kellner?
I don't know that person.
Come on, stop it. We have been asking and asking and asking. Kellner, come on. Come on the show, talk to us. We're your community.
I will try again.
You will?
We will mute Hashim.
But here's the thing. Let's just be real. It's intimidating for some folks to come on when you got 5 black folks. It's intimidating for some folks. Let's just be real.
Listen,
don't be scared.
He should come on. I'm the only one on his side believing that he'll be different. Well, I got to be muted.
There you go.
Yeah, I have been on record saying I believe I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
It's that part in Star Wars where they're like, it's a trap.
Let's give Trump a chance.
Luke, it's a trap.
All right. So anyway, we are past our hour. I know that some folks got to eat. Others have eaten. There's all types of stuff going on. So anyway, any final thoughts? Ted Cruz sucks. That's really all I wanted to say on that.
Thank you.
You want me to tell you what he sucks?
No,
he sucks at life.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Lindsey Graham. We echo that sentiment for Lindsey Graham too. It's
along with
right now.
Right. Shoot. Okay. All right.
Cheeks just puffy, sucking.
Sheesh. Okay.
Life.
And with that,
life in his mouth.
Please,
at least half of it.
Like, subscribe. Dope Black Thoughts. Find us on YouTube. Find us on your favorite podcast channel. Also, find us on Patreon. Patreon.com/Dope Black Thoughts.
Ask us some questions. We friendly people.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We're friendly. But look us up. Look us up. Also, look out for we got a new show coming on. Mr. Carter, you want to talk about that real quickly?
Oh, like we said last time, last year, it was a year ago.
Womp womp.
We have one of our black publishers is Jason Hennington on the Taylor Daily Press, and their first podcast / upload will be on Wednesday.
Oh, nice. And just to be correct, it was last year, but not a year ago.
Okay, I'm sorry, last year. If you guys recall, when I brought something to the team.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We'd like to thank the great people of Xfinity and CenturyLink for making this happen on the internet.
Absolutely. And with that, Dope Black Thoughts is out for the night. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you next week.
Peace, love, and soul.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.